So as of my recording this video, we are about 10 days away from the launch of the Battle for Brooklyn DLC, and because of that, I want to continue the series at the channel where I revisit a handful of builds that I'm using non-stop in the game. Now in my opinion, these are builds you definitely want to have ready when the DLC goes live. And for those of you that may not know, the launch date is May 27th. It is rapidly approaching, so now is the time to farm and put certain builds together. Now the two builds I'm going to break down in this video are the following. We have a one-tap Hotshot build, which is absolutely insane for clearing control points incredibly fast. We also have a Pestilence build, and one thing you will notice in the gameplay footage is that I'm not using global modifiers whatsoever. The main reason for that is because we are about to jump into a new season. All the modifiers are going to change, so I want to make sure to show you these builds without anything active whatsoever. That way you can get a baseline for the type of damage these things can do. As always, I want to thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please leave any other build requests you have in the comment section. I'm going to do my best to get to them as quickly as possible. My work schedule's been kind of crazy, but as we make our way closer to the DLC, I'm going to take some time off, hopefully. So, get ready, my fellow agents. We got a lot of shit to look forward to. So starting with the specialization, and this is what we are using for both builds. You can see I'm using sharpshooter, using that for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, you get some extra headshot damage, you get some extra stability. You also have access to the tactician drone in case you want to use that. Totally up to you. You have a lot of different variations. And always remember, regardless of the specialization you choose, have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Now the main reason I mention this in every single build video I post is because, like a lot of you out there, I have certain templates that I use for different builds, and when you forget to activate the proper weapon, you're just leaving weapon damage on the table, and that sucks. So please do not make that mistake. Take that time and make sure the right weapons are actually activated. Now as you can see on screen, my primary weapon for this build is an SR1 replica which I crafted. You'll also notice that none of the attributes are even close to being maxed out yet. And the reason I bring that up is because remember, you don't have to have a perfect build while you're in the process of actually putting the perfect build together, if that makes sense. Anyway, the main thing is this. Regardless of the Marksman rifle you choose, just make sure it has the talent determined, because with that talent, after killing an enemy with a headshot, the next shot landed on any enemy is going to be a guaranteed headshot as well. And for those of you out there who may not have the best aim like me, it's going to save your ass time and time again. Now when it comes to your secondary and sidearm, it's really up to you. You can see I'm using an 1886 with the talent determined. Sidearm I do not really use with this build. Now moving on to the gear itself, you can see we are running 3 Hotshot, 1 Walker and Harris, 1 Cheska, and the Ninja Bike backpack, which is what you're looking at right now. Now you can see this has the talent resourceful, which slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a gear set's bonus, which simply means even though we're only wearing 3 pieces of Hotshot, we do get the 4-piece bonus. Now the 2 pieces 30% marksman rifle and weapon handling, 3 pieces 30% headshot damage, and 4 pieces headache. And one thing I love about this talent is the fact that every 3rd consecutive headshot is going to refill the magazine, and that really comes into play when you're trying to one-tap every single NPC you come across. Next we have the body armor. It's the 1 piece of Walker and Harris, but again, because we are wearing the Ninja Bike, we do get the 2 brand set bonuses, which is 5% weapon damage and 5% damage to armor. And this is the named Walker and Harris body armor, the Chain Killer, which has the talent Perfect Headhunter. Now if you do not have this, I recommend hitting up Countdown, set your targeted loot to Walker and Harris, you can pick it up there. Next we have the holster, that is the 2nd piece of the Hotshot gear set. And one thing you'll notice is I'm trying to stack headshot damage everywhere I can, which now takes us to the knee pads, and as you can see they are the 1 piece of Cheska, and they are the Turmoil knee pads which every player should have been granted during that April Fool's event. Now with the talent Bewildered, you can see it says when dealing weapon damage to an enemy, 50% of the damage will be dealt to another enemy within 30 meters, which is why, as you will see in the initial gameplay footage, I can shoot 1 bullet, take out 2 NPC. If you do not have it, I will try to get you answers and see if the game is going to actually reintroduce it at one point. Now as far as my skills are concerned, I'm using the variation of the tactician drone and the assault turret. You have so many different options you can choose from. Again, like I said previously, take your time, make a build your own, try out different things, kick the tires, all that good stuff. Now for those of you out there who do not have the Turmoil knee pads, as you can see, all I've done for this version is swap them out for a piece of HG, which is going to be giving us an extra 13% headshot damage, and because of the Ninja Bike, we do get that extra 20% marksman rifle damage as well. And once again, to be clear, the main difference between the Turmoil knee pads and these is the fact that with Turmoil, you can take out multiple NPC with 1 bullet. With this, 1 bullet, 1 NPC. That's all I got for this one, my friends. Hope this helped you out, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know, and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. With all that being said, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and commentary. I want to take a moment as always and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Good morning once again, my fellow agents. I hope everyone is having a good weekend so far. Now, as I mentioned in the build breakdown, the footage you're looking at was recorded over a week ago during that triple XP event, so do not pay attention to the amount of XP I'm earning from clearing the control point, because that's not going to match up. But the build itself is sound, and I'm really enjoying it, especially when it comes to, clearing these control points. Now, as promised, at the next control point, I will not be wearing the turmoil knee pads, which means I will not be able to take out multiple enemies with one bullet, but even with the HG equipped, you can still get the job done and one-tap NPCs. That's all I got for this one, my fellow agents. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.
Hostile supply convoy detected.
Moving up now.
Hostiles detected. Hostile supply convoy nearby.
Now, starting with the specialization, I am using Gunner, and the main reason for that is because that does give me access to the Banshee Pulse, which I love to use with this build. You also get some extra armor on kill, you get a reload speed increase, you get a rate of fire increase as well, and always remember, regardless of the specialization you choose, make sure to have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Please do not forget that, my fellow agents, otherwise you're just missing out on weapon damage. Now, my primary for this build is the Pestilence. This is one of the best weapons in the game. You've heard me mention it previously. And like a lot of you out there, I find myself using the same weapon non-stop, but when I actually branch out and try different things, absolutely love it. Now, the reason this is so effective is because of its talent Plague of the Outcast, where hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with that debuff, 100% of the stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. Now, for those of you out there who do not have this weapon, thankfully it is in the general loot pool. I recommend hitting up Countdown or the Summit, set your targeted loot to LMG. You can farm anywhere the LMG is the targeted loot. Obviously, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Now, moving on to the gear itself, you can see we are running 3 Lengmo, 1 Petrov, 1 Overlord, and the Coyote's Mask, which is what we're starting with. Now, once again, this is one of those must-have exotics in the game, and the reason for that is because of its Talent Pack Instincts, where you and all your allies are going to gain a crit hit chance and or crit hit damage bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. And remember, if you're rolling in a group like Countdown and multiple people are wearing this, you can have all 3 buffs active at the same time. Absolutely lights out. Now, moving on to the body armor, it's the first of 3 pieces of Lengmo. We're running 3 so we get all of the brain set bonuses. 2 pieces 20% explosive resistance, 3 pieces 20% skill health, but the main reason we're running it is for that 30% LMG damage bonus, and as you can see, I'm using the talent Obliterate, where critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. Next, we have the holster, which is the second piece of Lengmo, and I want to point out the fact that this is not fully maximized as yet, because like a lot of you out there, I run out of resources pretty damn quick, so I have to pick and choose kind of what I level up, you know what I mean? I did with the body armor, I'm going to be doing that with the holster soon. Next, we have the knee pads. They are the 1 piece of Overlord. We're running Fox's Prayer because that has the middle attribute, 8% damage to targets out of cover. And always remember, this is just a template. You want to take your time and make a build your own. For instance, you may not want 1 million armor like I'm sitting at. You may want more, you may want less. I recommend trying out different variations, kick the tires, see which one works for you. Now, moving on to the gloves, they are the 1 piece of Petrov. We're running Contractors for that middle attribute, 8% damage to armor. And last but not least, my fellow agents, we have the Backbone Backpack. That is the 3rd and final piece of Lengmo. Now, I'm still trying to get that double crit Backbone because you have to reroll the core attribute to armor or weapon damage, one of the two. And this does have the talent Perfectly Unstoppable Force. And as I mentioned previously, like the holster, this is not fully maximized. Now, typically, I'm not going to really spec into anything until it's the exact version I'm looking for, but to get a double crit Backbone Backpack has taken me a lifetime, so to get this one with weapon handling and crit hit damage, chances are I will optimize this thing because it's pretty damn close to being perfect. As far as my skills are concerned, for this version of the build, I'm running with the Assault Drone because it's a great distraction to NPC and puts out damage as well as the Banshee Pulse. And when we take a look at the numbers, you can see I'm sitting at 44% crit hit chance. Remember, the max is 60 and 112.1 crit hit damage. Those numbers are going to be dependent on not only the gear you have equipped, but having a Shade Watch of level 1000. And if I happen to be using this build with modifiers, you will see here in a second, my active modifier is going to be Overdrive. And as far as the passive ones are concerned, we have Microwave Coils, Aggressive Drone, and Critical Recovery. Hope this video helped you out, my friends. And as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family that we have here at the channel. So if you happen to have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, feel free to leave them in the comment section, as the main goal is to help out as many people as we can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and commentary. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time. And as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. So I know in the video I mentioned the fact that I was going to show you gameplay footage with and without the modifiers, but honestly, there's no point using the modifiers at this point. I mean, not that there's no point, but I'm not going to show you a build with modifiers right now because everything's going to change in the next few weeks, so I figure I'll show you this build without anything active, so that way you know at least what the baseline is. Now, as I leave you with the gameplay footage, I want to once again remind you, always remember this is just a template. And the reason I keep saying that is because for me, look, I know there are stronger Pestilence builds than the one I'm showing you. That's a fact. This is not the hardest hitting build, but for me, this works for my gameplay. And as I get used to running with a build like this seems to check off all the boxes I'm looking for. Anyway, thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.
Reinforcements incoming. Detecting additional hostile contacts. Heavily armored hostiles detected.
I'm moving through. Cover. Gonna need a med. We should be there soon. Come on, let's get started. Really came through for us.
Supply room access unlocked.